Hello. What's up, everyone? Good morning. Go ahead and just get it up here. Sorry about that. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, I was just was listening to a Kiss Destroy album before I started this. Kind of going back to listening to some nostalgia for me, at least. It's always good to listen to some rock and roll in the morning. First thing when you wake up. I don't know, it helps me get amped up in the morning. Listening to rock music over like anything else in the morning, it usually helps me wake up and get ready for my day. But recently, I rediscovered a very good album by the band Kiss, Gene Simmons band. I rediscovered a very good album by them that I first listened to as a kid, around 2009 and 2010. My grandfather actually introduced me to the album, but the album's called Destroyer by Kiss and Gene Simmons. It's a very good album though. Like I said, I recently rediscovered it from watching October 1st was, obviously the beginning of October, and I really like October. As you guys can see, I got my Halloween shirt on, my Michael Myers shirt. I'm a very big Halloween fan, my favorite time of the year. But I was rewatching Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 1, and I remember hearing the song God of Thunder in the intro, and I was like, oh, what band is that? And then it immediately clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's definitely Gene Simmons. It's definitely Kiss. And I looked up the song or whatever from the original soundtrack, and I remembered it was a part of the Destroyer album. And that's when I remember, oh my God, that album, I gotta go back and listen to it. And, that album still to this day, for my first time hearing it when I was just a little boy in 2009, the album, it just blew me away. You know what I mean? At the time as a little kid, I didn't know, what in the world I was hearing, what the hell I was hearing, but I liked it. I like, that's the first kind of like music I grew up with, was kind of that rock and roll stuff, from my grandfather and my father. So, that's where I get that, wanting to listen to it from. But no, I love Kiss, and I love that album. That is like definitely my favorite album by Kiss, because that is the album that got me into Kiss for sure. Dark Side of the Moon is where it's at. Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd is one of the best albums for sure, and another Brick in the Wall. Brick in the Wall is also really good. But Dark Side of the Moon is definitely another good one. Very great one. It's got to be in like my top 5 rock and roll albums for sure, hands down. Like, I don't know, especially for classic rock and roll, because I like a lot of classic rock and roll as well. And Dark Side of the Moon is definitely up there with, ones like Destroyer. Of course, you got Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. I also like Peter Frampton too. I know a lot of people don't know who Peter Frampton is, and a lot of people that told me that, they didn't like Peter Frampton's music growing up around that time, which is just weird, because me listening to Peter Frampton, I'm younger, of course, but me listening to Peter Frampton, I love Peter Frampton. Also, I think almost one of the greatest guitarist players out there ever. Love me some Peter Frampton. Oh yeah, gotta have some Peter Frampton. My favorite song is "Feel Like You Do." One of the best songs by them. Probably the most known for song is "Feel Like You Do." But that is my favorite song. I don't care what people think. That is my favorite song by them. But no, we were just talking about the Destroyer album and me rediscovering it. But yeah, as a kid, I listened to it like somewhere around 2009, 2010, I want to say. But listening to it for the first time as a little kid, it blew me away. And rediscovering it this week was really, really nice. Detroit Rock City is a very good song on that album. This is the first album they open up with in that album. The first song, rather, they open up with in that album. Which was a very good choice, by the way. I love that. Love that song. And of course, God of Thunder. God of Thunder is up there too. But I don't know, if you guys haven't listened to the Destroyer album though by Kiss yet and Gene Simmons, I highly suggest it. Even if you're not into rock and roll, just go ahead and give it a listen. I'm telling you, it'll change your mind. Or any Pink Floyd album for that matter. Any Pink Floyd album, go listen to it. I promise you, it will change your life. It will for sure change your life. Like some of the greatest albums right there. But anyways, folks, now that we got some people in here, welcome to the grading show. This is episode 4 of my morning week talk show. We do this every Saturday where I come on here and we do, a weekly wrap up, or, I give my opinions on things that were announced this week or some things that happened this week within, the boxing community, the gaming community, skateboarding and stuff like that. We talk about things that happen during the week or things that we learned about during the week from, communities. We come on here and we talk about it. And I get y'all's opinions. You guys can also talk about it. And at the end of the show, if you guys want a chance to come up and talk on the show or debate what we talked about, you can also come on here and talk about that. You guys will get 5 minutes via Twitter Space. So if you guys want to know what my Twitter is, you guys can go to, or my X is, I'm sorry, now known as X. Go ahead and go to my channel description, and it should be in there. So that way you guys can follow me on there. So that way if you guys want to come up and talk on the space, you guys can. Borderlands 4. We talked about Borderlands 4 on episode 2, I think. We talked about Borderlands 4. I still haven't picked it up yet, but I do want to play it. Especially, like I said last episode that we talked about, one of the things that I like that they did is how, the vehicle spawn point works now. Because before, if you wanted to get your vehicle, you had to go all the way back to where you spawned vehicles and just to get a vehicle. And sometimes I didn't like walking I didn't like going across the whole map. You have fast travel and stuff, but still, I didn't like doing all that. I thought it was easier just to spawn a vehicle right where I was at. So I like that feature that they added. But yes, this is my morning show. It's my talk show where we come on here and I talk about subjects I like to talk about. I'll give my opinions on them. Remember, everything on here that I get, that's my opinion. It is just my opinion. You guys may feel differently, which is fine. Sometimes we're not going to agree on things. That's okay. If you want to come back at the end of the show, though, and debate on it, we can talk on the X Space. I would be more than happy to have a friendly little debate. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. The date is October 4th, 2025. The date is currently 8:55 in the morning. Way later than when I wanted to start this. As you guys know, some of the people that know that tuned in the last couple episodes, I like to start this show at 7:30. This morning I didn't get to. I just woke up later. And then also, for the people that have been watching recently, as you guys know, I ride my bike to work, and yesterday I got in a bike accident. Don't worry, I didn't get hit by a car or anything, but I was going downhill and my chain has been loose for a little bit, and I've been having to loosen, tighten it up before I leave to go to work or go do whatever I gotta do, because work is not that far from me. At least my old job now is. It's not that far from me, but I usually tighten my chain before I go to work. But there's definitely a problem with it because it doesn't tighten all the way, and I know this, but I'm just like, okay, it should be fine because I can ride it any other day and we're okay. But yesterday, I'm going to ride it and I'm going downhill, and I'm building up speed, and then so I go to stand up on the bike again and I'm going to pedal again. Well, as I'm going to pedal, my chain pops, this sends me off balance, and my bike is wobbling at this point, so I can't stop because I'm wobbling. And, I ended up sliding this way, going this way, falling off the bike, sliding down the sidewalk. And by the time I fell on the floor, I didn't know, everything happened so fast. I didn't know what was going on. About the time I fell on the floor, I thought that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done. I fell. But to my surprise, as I keep sliding across the concrete on this damn sidewalk, I just keep sliding, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, I guess this is what we're doing. And I got dirt kicking up in my face and stuff, and dirt going all over my side. It was pretty bad. I think I got a mark right there. I got one up here, and then I messed up my knee really, really bad. And then my other knee also got pretty messed up too. But I didn't no cuts, no blood on the other knee, but my right knee does. So. Oh my God, I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm all right. And it's funny though, because when I fell, the first thing I was worried about was my head, because I'm on concrete. I was like, okay, shit, let me not hit my head and bust my head open. You know what I mean? That's something I just don't need that. So I went to go cover my head, and then, like I said, by the time I was on the floor, I thought I was stopping, so I went to go like this. And at this point, I'm scuffing my hands up, as you can see. I'm going like this, and then I'm just like, well, at least I haven't hit my head. But as I look back up, I see a fence. I'm going towards a fence post, and lo and behold, I'm sliding further and further with all that speed, and then my head just boom right into the fence post. And I was just like, well, that's what really pissed me off, though. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, you know what? I didn't hit my head. That's good. And then, like, the last thing I do is hit my head while I'm telling myself, okay, at least I didn't hit my head. I'm okay. But I wasn't bleeding or nothing. I was all right. But definitely didn't feel good. Definitely didn't feel good. It came out of nowhere, so I was just like, what? But anyways, let's go ahead and see. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you guys how y'all's week was. How was everybody's week this week? Mine was good. Besides that biking accident, everything was good. I found out this week that I'm gonna be starting a new job on Monday, so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be starting off as an apprentice as an electrician. So that's gonna be pretty exciting. But don't worry, I'm gonna be still gonna find time to come on here and talk and stream and do whatever kind of content I got to do. Thankfully, now that I got full weekends off, I'll be able to put more time into this too, believe it or not, as well. So that is great. But other than that, besides, me, having that job announced, taking care of my daughter and stuff like that, being at home with the family, this week has been really good, actually. I've had a really, really good week, a positive week. How was everybody's week in here today? All right, let's see. All right, so question of the day. You guys know, for the people that have been around here for a little bit, you guys know what question of the day is. Question of the day is where I go to you guys, I ask y'all a question. Mine was good. I got a raise at work. I'm so proud to hear your new work journey. Thank you so much. And hey, getting a raise is always good. I always like making extra money. We always like making extra money. That's good to hear, Olivia. Got a raise and hear your new work journey. I know. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for my new work journey. Excited to see where it takes me. And I like learning new things too. Like I said, the last job I was with, I've been there so long. Almost going on, 7 years now? Almost 7 years now, I want to say. And it's just like, I'm definitely not trying to be there forever. You know what I mean? It's like I can't make a career out of that. So going on to something different, doing something different to where I can build a potential career out of if, something like this doesn't, pick up like I wanted to. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Always got a career elsewhere. I'm going to do great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope I do great. Anyways, question of the day. So, question of the day is, I know last episode we did top 5 rap albums. Today is going to be based around horror, as you guys know, because October just started. So I'm going to go ahead and, start theming things around horror a little more around October for the show, just because, like I said, it's my favorite season and I want to, put that theme on. So, question of the day, your top 5 horror movies. Let me know what your top 5 horror movies are. They can be slashers, they can be, a paranormal movie, it could be whatever kind of horror movie it is, but let me know your top 5 horror movies. It could be any horror movie, from any genre, it could be from any, time period. Let me know what your favorite horror movie is. And I'm, like always, like last episode, I'm going to give my top 5 when we get into the horror segment of this video. Once we get into the horror segment, I'll give you guys my top 5, and then we'll talk about it. And yeah, but if you guys want to give your top 5 right now, let me go ahead and actually put that in the comments. That way people do know. All right. Top 5 horror movies. All right. Top 5 horror movies. Let me know what your top 5 horror movies are. But anyways, I'll give my top 5 horror movies once we get into the horror segment. But let me know what y'all's top 5 horror movies are and what horror movies you guys are going to be watching this Halloween. I'm pretty sure everybody watches the same horror movies for Halloween like I do. But let me know what your top 5 horror movies are and which ones you're going to be watching. The Gremlins. The Gremlins is definitely a classic. As a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really into it, but as I've gotten older, it's kind of like with weirdly enough, with like Halloween season 3, Season of the Witch, where like Michael Myers is not in it. It was hard for me to grow on that movie and watch that movie. But as a kid, same thing for the Gremlins for some reason. But I want to say it was one Halloween where I was like, you know what, let's watch it. And I watched it and I was like, you know what, definitely a good movie. Definitely a good movie to watch, especially around the Halloween season. It's a good movie to watch to get into the Halloween season. And also like the director that did that movie, the person who directed the Gremlins also did very, very well. Like the camera style, like the shots that they got in that movie. Tremors is another great movie, especially the original. The original first one is like my favorite. The Tremors is definitely going up there. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Okay, so I have another announcement that I want to do while we're just, you guys are talking about childhood horror movies. Another announcement I want to make is I want to make a weekly highlight. So a highlight of y'all's week. We could take one thing from our week. I want it to be positive though. Let's take one positive thing that, happened throughout our week and let's talk about it on here so that way, I think it's a good way to spread positivity and talk about the positive things and to keep things positive and to to look back on things and be like, at least this happened and this was positive, something positive that happened in my life throughout the week. I feel like it's good for everybody and I feel like it's a good way to stay positive. And it's something I wanted to announce too. So something I'm gonna start doing on the show too. I'm gonna ask you guys as well as question of the day still. We're also gonna have the weekly highlight. And then you guys can talk about it. You guys can let me know in the chat. Mine are going to be in order. Number 1, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay. Number 2, Freddy vs. Jason. Okay. Number 3, Insidious 4. Okay, no, they're just Insidious. Okay, number 3, Insidious. And then number 4 is The Nun. And then number 5, The Bride of Chucky. That is a good 5. Okay, that's a good top 5. That is a good top 5. Although I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised you didn't put The Uninvited in there. I am very surprised because I'm not gonna lie, I almost put it in mine. At least I almost gave it into my honorable mentions. I almost put it in honorable mentions at least. I was thinking about it, I was like, because The Uninvited is a really good movie. I watched it again recently since, because we used to watch it when we were kids. But once I watched it again, I was like, okay, yeah, this movie was definitely onto something. I also feel like that movie was like released like way before its time. Like I feel like if it was released now too, that movie would have done really good. It could have been like one of the best horror movies today, I think. But I'm very surprised you didn't put The Uninvited in there. But that's a very good list. That is a very good list. Especially Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which they have a video game about now. I haven't played it, but I've seen like stuff about it. I wanted to play it and pick it up, but I'm pretty sure it's probably similar to Dead by Daylight or the Freddy vs. Jason game, or not the Freddy vs. Jason game, but the Friday the 13th game. Yes, The Uninvited was so good. Yeah, no, that is a good movie. It is a good movie. Like I said, as a kid, it took me a little bit to get into it, but as I got older and I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this is a good movie. Very good movie. Very good like storyline too. But let me know, everybody, what your highlight of the week is. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my answer for my highlight of the week. For my highlight of the week, if you guys did not see yet, they officially announced the Halloween game. They officially released a trailer for it, a teaser trailer, and they also released the release date for it. Let's see. Have you watched The Wizard of Oz with the Dark Side of the Moon? No, actually, I haven't. I have not, actually. Dark Side of the Moon album with Wizard of Oz. It's been a minute since I've watched that movie, too. It has been a while since I've watched Wizard of Oz. But from what I remember, Wizard of Oz is a good movie. But no, I have not watched it while listening to the Dark Side of the Moon album. But thank you for the suggestion because I honestly might do that one day. I like to I like to watch movies and listen to music at the same time too. That is something that I like to do. Or something else that I like to do that people also may think is weird. I like to listen to like if I was just listening to music or something, I like to listen to like different movie soundtracks, especially if they're really good. I mainly like John Carpenter composers. Like if you listen to like a lot of John Carpenter's like tracks and stuff, really good stuff, really good. It's like very underrated. But I listen to those sometimes in my headphones and I don't care. I'll just listen to it like it's a normal song. That's because that music is really good. Anyway, speaking my highlight of the week. We were talking about the Halloween game, how we have a new teaser for it, and the official release date announced, which is going to be next year, October next year. So yeah, 2026 of October next year. I forgot the exact day, but I know it's October next year. For the new teaser, new like ability, it seems like they're giving him where it's like he has like this shadow mode that he goes into where it's like you can quite like it's not like everybody else can't see him, but like he can see everybody else and he goes into this shadow form. So it's kind of like he's teleporting, but he's not. He's there, but he's not teleporting. What hell I listen to Frank Sinatra while working. Nothing's wrong with Frank Sinatra while shit. Let me tell you something. There ain't nothing wrong. What's up, Truman? Welcome. There's nothing wrong with listening to Frank Sinatra while working. Like I said, I'll clean the house, throw on some John Carpenter soundtrack. I'm telling you, it's a vibe. It really is. Y'all don't understand. I'm telling y'all right now, this is one thing. If you're getting bored with like the music you're listening to or whatever, of course it's always good to dip into other genres or whatever. But let's try to listen to something different. Try something new. I told you I was finna be. I knew it. I started a little later just because of you too. I was supposed to start it really at 8. Because I wasn't gonna start at 7:30. I was too tired, so I was like, I'll start at 8, and so that way it gets Truman time. I didn't start it until like maybe 8:55. First of all, one of them is my sister, so might want to be careful. But the other people we got in here, how many people we got in here? We got 4 other people. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this Q&A now until we get back to the horror segment. Did you already say your top 5 horror movies, or are you doing that at the end? I'm going to do that when we get to the horror segment. Whenever we get to the horror segment, we're going to talk, once we get to the horror segment, which is after the first segment that we get into, then we'll talk about my top 5 horror movies, which is really good. You guys I'm telling you, you got to stay around for like that. No, like the artist. Oh, you don't know who Frank Sinatra is? Well, I don't know. You're right. You're probably a little too young for that. And you don't know who John Carpenter is either? That's crazy. Now that's sad. That is sad. I'm a little disappointed. Classic artist, exactly. That boy don't know nothing about the Dark Side of the Moon or the Destroyer album. Yeah, old man. You know what? And I'm proud. That's fine. I'm an old man today. I appreciate you for coming by, Truman, by the way. But yeah, no, next year, October, I want to say October 26th. I want to say that's what the date was for the release date of the Halloween game. But I'm excited. You know what I mean? I like everything I've seen. It's not like I didn't like seeing it, but it's just I'm going to be curious on how it works, obviously. The shadow mode that Michael seems like he goes into. And then, I don't know if it's to where, like, the end game is to where you can kill him, because it seems like it's the same mechanic from the Friday the 13th game where it's like you can knock Jason down and like he's stunned for a while. It seems like the same thing that Michael does. Like you can knock him down, he'll be stunned there for a while, then he gets back up, he does his iconic, sit up, and then he comes after you again. So I don't know how that's gonna exactly work, but I do know this new stock mode that it looks like he has does look kind of OP too. I was definitely not around when the first Halloween movie came out. I definitely was not around in 78. 78 is crazy. 78 is wild. Now, I was alive whenever, like, the first Rob Zombie movie came out, so that you could say. I was alive for the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie, but definitely was not around for the first 78 movie. That's crazy. But yeah, no, other than the shadow mode he looks like he goes into, that's like the only concerns I feel like I have, just because I don't know how it's going to work, or how long it's going to last, how long the ability is going to last, or if it's just like a cooldown to it, which I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. Like, I'm sure there's going to be like some kind of small objective you have to do as Michael before you get it like unlocked. And then of course there's probably going to be a cooldown timer with it. So yeah, but no, one thing I'm also excited about it is Dead by Daylight. No, the new Halloween game that's coming out for Michael Myers, and it's kind of like that, but it's like its own like game just for Michael Myers. There's gonna be a story mode and everything for it, which I'm excited for. One thing about Rob Zombie is he's always going to put his wife in his movies. Always. Always. Rob Zombie's always putting his wife in his movies. He's always putting Moon in his movies. Which, I mean, I don't mind. You know what I mean? You know, of course, a lot of people don't like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, which is fine, you know? Like I said, when I first watched them my first time around, they weren't really my thing, but watching the first one again and then, like, just appreciating the first one, it's really good. You know, when you get into the second one, it's a little you know, but it is good. I did wish they didn't go with the brother-sister storyline, though. If Rob Zombie didn't go with the brother-sister storyline, I also feel like the second one probably wouldn't have been as confusing. But if you can watch the second one with an open mind, it is also a good film in itself. Of course, it's not what Rob Zombie wanted to make, but, you know what I mean? It is still a decent film if you watch it with an open mind. But the first one, I always will have that, like, in my top 5, at least in my top 3 Halloween movies. They tried it with Predator and Bubba, but Dead by Daylight kind of killing him. That is true. That is true. I mean, you're right. They did try to do it with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That didn't do too well. And that was also made by the same developers who are making this game, and the same developers that made the Friday the 13th game. And they had lawsuit issues with the Friday the 13th game. Not personal issues, but that's whenever that big lawsuit was going on with the writers and the directors at the time. And then the whole lawsuit thing, I don't know if there was a lawsuit with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I'm not sure if that's what it was that I read about it, but I know for a fact that game ain't doing, like, numbers what it used to. Like, it's like whenever it first launched. She's such a good actress. No, yeah, Sherry Moon is a good actor. She is a good actor. She for sure is. But but yeah, highlight of the week, the Halloween game, October 26, 2026. I'm very excited, very excited for it. I'm also excited to learn that Nick Castle, the person who played the original Michael Myers in the first Halloween movie, is going to be doing the mocapture for Michael Myers in the game. So he's basically going to be playing the Michael Myers that's in the game. Like, he's going to be the actor of the Michael Myers, doing all the mocaptures and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. So it definitely is going to look like a real Myers within game. So out of, like Myers in the gaming aspect, like in the gaming world, I feel like this is going to be, like, the best Myers we've ever gotten, for sure, in the gaming world. 1,000%. 1,000%. Especially if Nick Castle's doing the mocapture. Thing I'm looking forward to is the new Chainsaw Man movie, and it has been Hotel, bro. I've only watched a little bit of the Has Been Hotel, and then a little bit of the Chainsaw Man anime, because I know what the Chainsaw Man anime is. I know it's like the guy with, like, the chainsaw that comes out of his head, right, where he turns into him, at least, or whatever. He has, like, that little, like, I don't know what it is, but he has, like, that little guy or whatever that turns him into the chainsaw. Bro, watch it. Okay, listen, you're telling me to watch so many. I gotta write these down. Listen, what you need to do today is send me a list on my phone of different animes you need me to watch, okay? And then that's how we're gonna do it. Anyways, let me know what y'all's highlight of the day is. Like I said, keep it positive. Let's talk about something positive so that way we have positive things to look back. Anyways, topic number 1. We got some things to talk about. We got some gaming news coming out from Fallout 76. If you guys have not seen, I haven't played Fallout within, like, 4 months. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, or probably longer than that. The last game I played was Fallout 4 whenever they remastered it, and that was, like, the last time I played it, whenever they remastered the fourth one. They had it on Game Pass and stuff. Listen, I played it, I beat it, and that was the first Fallout game I ever played. For the first Fallout game I ever played, I loved it too. I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a great game. I'm an Elder Scrolls fan, so it kind of, like, was a little similar to me, and, like, story wise, and, like, how the open world was and stuff like that, and how you had to go and get your materials and stuff like that. But Fallout 76 is having a new DLC dropping for the game, with new content including weapons, gear, quest, and they also have a map expansion even coming in, where they're going to expand, like, parts of the map for the Fallout 76 world. I'm probably going to get in there and check it out myself, so if you guys want me to stream that, I definitely probably will, because I'm going to try to get into the Fallout series again, because like I said, the last time I played Fallout was Fallout 4, my first game, and I liked it. I thought it was quite well. You know, before growing up, I never really got into the Fallout series. I just couldn't for some reason. But now, as I've started to expand more into the gaming world, and I finally did play Fallout, good series, but I still got to go back and play a lot of the older ones too. Like I know a lot of people tell me I got to play New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas. People say that's like one of the best ones, so I still got to go back and play that one. But I definitely will hop into Fallout 76 with this new DLC, coming out. It seems actually really interesting. Like I said, new weapons, gear, quests. They have a new map expansion coming to the map. They also have a special casted character coming from the Fallout TV show, which I also have not watched yet. If you guys have watched the Fallout TV show, let me know what you guys think of the TV show and if I should give it a watch, because I might just do that. I've been looking for new shows to watch. So, besides all animes that you want me to watch, Truman, let me know what you guys think of the Fallout TV show. Because they have a character that was casted from that show who will be making a special appearance in the game, who's going to be voicing like the character that was in the show in the game. So for you guys, for you Fallout fans who know who the Ghoul is, he's going to be voiced by his show character. So which is pretty interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out, if it's going to be tied to the show in a way. Me and Ron started the show. It's really good. Definitely watch it. Definitely would watch it. The Fallout show, good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I have not watched the Fallout show yet. I really have not. I have not watched it. I have not finished it yet. How is it only just one season out? Because somebody said there's like they're working on a second season, or is that like coming soon? I did see whenever the first season dropped, a lot of people were talking about it. But I might just give it a watch. Now that y'all are saying watch it. I feel like every TV show we start, we don't finish though. I mean, we eventually get to, but it's not like we don't actively watch the show to finish it. Like whenever me and my fiance, or whenever me and Sam started watching Big Bang Theory, we watched it, and there's 13 seasons to that show, and we didn't sit there and think, we're gonna blow through 13 seasons in a couple of months. Within like 4 months, we're done with the whole show, and I'm like, oh, what do we got to watch now? There's only one season for now? Okay, that's what I thought. So it'd be the best time to watch it, because I like to watch a show when it's just starting off, because, like, I don't know, a lot of people say they like to watch a show when there's a lot of seasons, but honestly, I like to just start off with the show, so there's not too much I gotta watch, because then I'm just gonna waste more of my time. Like, I'm gonna find myself wasting more time watching the show than I am gonna be doing, like, other things that I need to get done in my personal life, so I try not to. Well, we did that with Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. I gotta watch Malcolm in the Middle, too. I gotta rewatch that. But yeah, no, like I rewatched all of it and I'm just like, damn, see, I can't do that. 13 seasons is crazy. It is. I mean, they're not that long of episodes though. I want to say they're only, the Big Bang Theory I want to say is like 19 minutes, maybe 22 minutes long an episode. They're not that long. And then for Malcolm in the Middle, I forgot how long those episodes were, but I know those episodes are not really that long either. They're only like maybe 25 minutes as well, max, I would say. And that's coming from someone who watched over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. Yeah, my way. But see, that's the thing. There's so much seasons in anime, or not seasons, I guess, but there's a lot of episodes when it comes to anime. But then again, it's always keeping you on your toes, so it's not like you're ever going to get bored of it because it's nothing but action-packed. But, bro, I watch Grey's Anatomy every single season, and there's like 19. Yeah. I can do that. I thought it was like the Game of Thrones. Oh, yeah, no, definitely not like that. No, it's nothing like Game of Thrones or nothing like that. Like, honestly, it's just a couple friends like that. It's kind of like Friends, but it's more goofy, I guess you would say. It's a little harder to understand, but once you like watch a couple of episodes, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what this is about. It's a funny little dorky show, though. It's nothing really to watch and take serious. It's just a show to put on when you're bored. But we ended up going through like 13 seasons of it, and then once it was done, we were like, damn, that was it. And we already watched the spinoff Young Sheldon before that, and then we finished, because they have one season out for the spinoff for the George and Mandy show. We watched all that one season too, which was really good too. That's also a really good show. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think about the map expansion and the new character coming to Fallout 76, the Ghoul, voiced by the character from the TV show. Let me know what you guys think about the new gear, the quests, and the weapons that are coming to the game. Like I said, I might be jumping in this week just to see what they added and what's new. Plot twist and shit, so I keep you on your toes. That's true. It's kind of like it's always keeping you, yeah. All right, so for you guys that haven't seen yet, the new Battlefield trailer released, and I thought it was really funny. The new Battlefield trailer release. I don't know if, pretty sure it's just like a teaser teasing, the game before it comes out or whatever. But if you guys haven't seen the new Battlefield trailer, I thought it was funny because I thought it was like trolling the Call of Duty community and trolling Call of Duty there for a little bit. We need to talk about Stranger Things 5 law. Make next week's live. You can't. Okay, all right. We'll talk about Stranger Things 5 next episode then. We could definitely. I haven't talked about Stranger Things in a while, and this is the last season. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm thankful it's the last season. I feel like this is the best like time to wrap up the show, to like end it. You know what I mean? It's instead of to keep dragging it on. But what I would like to see, if they're ever gonna do like a Stranger Things spinoff, instead of doing like a stupid prequel or something, they should like set it in the year of like the early 2000s maybe, and then have it when they're older with their kids or something like that. You know what I mean? Have it to where like it goes into the future. I feel like that'd be really cool to see. Stranger Things like in this time. I feel like that'd be cool to see. Maybe not, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool to see like the aftermath of the show instead of doing a prequel, because everything has a prequel now these days. We don't need a prequel for everything. I don't need to know everybody's backstory. You're talking about the one where they killed all the celebrities? Wait, which one? Yes, I do agree with that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. That would be interesting. Yeah, the one that killed off all the, yeah, okay, no, Truman does know what I'm talking about. So the one that killed off all the celebrities, yeah, where they had, who do they have in that trailer? I want to say it's Patty Pimlet, the UFC fighter, Zac Efron, and some country artist, some country singer artist. And then I don't know who the other guy was. Yeah, the Battlefield teaser. It was though. It was funny because like I said, it didn't show in much depth of gameplay, but I feel like what it was doing was the trailer was showing like, we're not gonna do what Call of Duty is doing. We're gonna try to keep, as much as they can, hopefully, because it is EA, that we're talking about here at the end of the day. I think that it is trying to, send the message that, hey, we're going to try to stick to the scenery and we're gonna try to stick to, you know, the war aspect of everything. That shit was, bro. It was funny. I thought it was funny. That's what I'm saying. When I watched it, I laughed because at first I was watching, I was like, oh god, it's already kind of starting, and then it got blown up, and I was like, oh, okay, I already know what they're trying to do. Especially whenever they had like the other military, like people come in from behind them, and they're like, oh, who are those guys and stuff. Yeah, I knew like at that moment that's exactly what they're doing. Is they were trolling on Call of Duty and their fans, and I thought it was funny. Because after watching FaZe Swag talk about the whole Battlefield community and stuff, which I thought was really stupid, I feel like that's what they needed. I feel like Battlefield needed to respond with some shit like that, and that's definitely the way they should have responded. Because like, hey, we don't need these celebrities' monies to get our games for people to play our games. We don't need celebrity money for our people to play our games. That's what I thought they were trying to say in a way, and also just show, of course, that they're gonna try to keep the war aspect and stuff realistic in the game and try to keep that scenery realistic. Which that's what Battlefield fans want. You know what I mean? If you're a Call of Duty fan, you do want all that stuff. Fine, but if Battlefield is a complete different game if you think about it. You know what I mean? It's really it's completely on how the way it works and the way the styles are. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a war, they're both war games, I guess you could say, but they really are different. Well, COD needed to take some notes. No, for sure, they definitely do. EA was bought out by Saudi Arabia. Was it Saudi Arabia? Was it actually? I wouldn't be surprised if the Saudis bought EA, though. I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't for them right now, boxing wouldn't be what it is right now either. Like, if it wasn't for the Saudis, boxing would be, in my opinion, dead right now. Well, if it wasn't for Turkey al-Sheikh, at least. But, no, I thought the Battlefield trailer was really funny, trolling the Call of Duty community and Call of Duty as a whole. And I thought the trailer was really good in showing, of sending a message to their fans. That was perfect. That's the way you do it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new Battlefield trailer and what you guys thought of it. And if you guys are going to be picking up the game. Next thing I want to talk about is, I don't know if people from my older videos watch any of this still, but if you guys didn't know, I used to make some kind of Destiny content. Like, I would do videos on Destiny where I do guides and tips on it for a little bit, and that did really, really well on my channel. That's how I really started actually, like, getting more views and learning to take this serious. Once I started uploading those videos and I seen the views I was getting, I was like, oh, okay, this can actually, all right. I find it funnier because they paid those celebrities just to troll them. Yeah, they paid the but it's funny because it's usually they have a deal whenever these games have like a collaboration with these influencers or celebrities, they usually make it a whole event that's in game. You know what I mean? So you can only imagine how much money is going into everything. But for Call of Duty, just to bring them in, or not Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, for Battlefield, just to bring them in for 5 seconds in a clip, just to pay them and kill them off like that, just to like you said, just to troll everyone. I thought it was completely funny. I thought it was funny. And I thought it was very good marketing too. Very good marketing. That's how you market something right there. If you want to sell something, that's how you do it. That's how you marketing. But yeah, for the people that don't know, I did used to play Destiny. I used to make tips and all kinds of guide videos for that. But recently, Destiny released a new mobile game. I seen it wasn't recently, but it was not too long ago. I want to say like a month ago. They released a mobile game, and I just want I wanted to come on here and give my some thoughts on it because like I said, I used to play the old Destiny games. And I love Destiny. I'm a big fan of Destiny, but not anymore recently because of what they're just doing. I feel like it's kind of beating a dead horse at this point with the series, honestly. But they released a new mobile game, and I've been playing it here and there. You know what I mean? Because I don't really play much mobile games, but whenever I do, you know what I mean. I like to play a game that I can keep my interest. And obviously, being a Destiny fan, that game has been able to keep somewhat of my interest. You know what I mean? But for the time that I have played it, it's okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. The new Destiny mobile game, it's nothing. It's nothing special. You know what I mean? If you're looking to download the game and you're expecting a full Destiny game, you know what I mean, that's completely reimagined, and you're looking for something that's different, or you're expecting it to actually, it's really nothing special. It's really not. As far as like story and lore and stuff like that. It's fun as a little time killer. You know what I mean? It's nothing that I would really sit there and grind on, but like if I'm sitting there and I need to waste time, like I'm waiting at a doctor's appointment or something, or I'm on break at work, okay, I might turn it on and play a little bit of it, but it's nothing special to where I'm going to get on every day and make it, my goal to get on Destiny mobile every day and play and make videos on it. For me, it's not that special of a game to make anything on, but I will say it is a fun game. As a time killer, if you're looking for something to do real quick and you're bored, I feel like it is a little fun game to play, especially if you're a Destiny fan. If you're a Destiny fan, I would suggest, downloading the mobile game, especially if you're looking for a little time killer and you just want to play a little something and you're not much of a mobile gamer, but you're a Destiny fan. Definitely go ahead and I would suggest picking up the game, and it's free. That's one good thing about it. It is free. But one thing I don't know what they're gonna do with it is I don't know if they're going to release expansions for it, or if they're just going to release like the regular seasons like they do in Destiny now, which I think is stupid. But you know how they have like the new seasons that they do or whatever. I don't know if it's gonna be that or if they're gonna add expansions to keep adding stuff to the game. I don't know how they're gonna do it because it's a mobile game, right? So mobile games really don't get expansions or DLCs. You'll get like seasons added or certain kind of like content events, but they don't get really like big content events. So that's what I'm kind of curious about, because Destiny usually is they're big on their events and doing things like that for the community. So it's gonna be cool how they work that into the Destiny mobile. Fortnite changed how games are made. Yeah, no, I've said this before. I say this all the time. Fortnite has, like, ever since Fortnite came out, people ask what's wrong with gaming, and I said it since the beginning. I'm not saying maybe it is. Maybe you guys think this way, but I'm just putting out here how it is. Ever since Fortnite came out, there has been a big decline in gaming. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but ever since Fortnite came out, every video game has felt like they need to jump on this wave of where they just need to. It's nothing but microtransactions everywhere. Everything you got to pay for. Everything is microtransaction. You can barely get on a game and have fun anymore without having to grind and sweat your ass off and have to go through players that have 146 kills a game. And you're just an average. You know what I mean? You work a 9 to 5, so you're just trying to get on there and chill. And you can't complete none of them challenges. You know what I mean? And then half the stuff you got to pay for. I got to pay just to do challenges now? You're telling me I got to pay money, like $65 just to do challenges, just to get a challenge pack in-game? No, bro. What has gaming become? That's one thing. Like, for the new skate game, because I know we talked about that on the show. the new skate game, and I said this, I feel like it's on Fortnite on wheels. I like the skate game, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it is Fortnite on wheels because of the aspect is, if you don't remember in the old skate games, you were allowed to get free customizations, but every customization feature in that game was 9 times out of 10 free. You know what I mean? All you had to do was grind for it, get a couple of in-game points, you know what I mean, level up a little bit, and you could unlock like a shirt or a skate deck or some wheels. But everything in this new skate game, you got to pay for. Everything is paid for. Like, everything you got to buy. First of all, like, you barely have any skate name. Like, you know what I mean? Anytime you do get, like, skate name brands and stuff like that in there, it's expensive, you know, for the prices that they're asking for. I mean, not that it's expensive, but come on, who wants to pay money just to get a Thrasher hat in-game? Like, I'm not even getting it in real life. Why do I want to pay $20 for it if I'm just getting it in-game? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I mean, they got the free loot crates in there, the loot box things. Those are fine. Those are okay, but the whole thing that they have with the item shop stuff, I don't know. I think it's just stupid. I think it's stupid. Oh, yeah, I hate how you got to pay for customization. Yeah. Bro, why? Why? What do you mean I got to pay $30 for a deck, a skateboard deck, that I'm not getting in real life, but I'm paying for it in-game? When I could have went and played Skate 3 and leveled up a couple of times and unlocked the same deck for free in-game? Why? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Soon they're going to start making us pay to breathe. I'm telling you, soon they're going to start charging us to breathe. But anyways, that was my thoughts on the Destiny mobile game. Like I said, a fun time killer. Nothing special, though. But definitely fun if you're a Destiny fan who finds himself, you know, obviously looking for a game to kill time with, you know, especially if you're on your phone. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the horror. We're going to go ahead and get into our next couple of things here. We're going to go ahead and move into the horror subject of things. Question of the day was my top 5 horror movies, and I'm going to finally give you guys my top 5 horror movies. We're going to get into it. If you guys have not given me your answer yet for your top 5 horror movies, make sure you go ahead and do so right now, so before I give you my answer. And if you guys are watching this after the fact and not live, then go ahead and leave down in the comments what your top 5 horror movies are. I'll respond to you. I'll give you my opinion of your top 5, or if you just want to chat, we'll talk about it. Escape pass. Yeah, no, like something like that. Escape pass. Or like what I said is add events to the world. Do like holiday events, like Halloween's coming up. Make the world, like add pumpkins to the world. Add a Halloween event where you can get like free Halloween stuff. Like you can get Halloween stickers, Halloween decks, like imagine having like, you know, a deck with like pumpkins and stuff on it or something, or like ghost on it, or clothing, like, you know what I mean? Like there's more things you could do with the game. I mean, I know we're only a month into it, and it's only in early access, but there's more they can do with the game than just going to the normal microtransaction mode. We don't need to see that in another game, especially not in a skate game. You can do something completely different because you're a skateboarding game. You can do things differently. You don't have to follow the money-making meta of how these greedy corporate game companies do. You don't need to do it. You don't. But it's EA. They are a greedy corporate company. Anyways, folks, my top 5 horror movies. Here we go. So, starting off with number 1, obviously Halloween. You're going to go to my boy Michael. Obviously, always he takes it. Michael Myers, that is, Truman, not Michael from work. We're talking about Michael Myers. Halloween is going to go my number 1. As you guys know, Halloween is the first movie that's ever got me to horror. It's like the first slasher movie I ever watched. It was the first slasher movie I ever fell in love with. Halloween 4 was the first movie I watched, and my first time watching that movie, I was blown away. I was scared as hell, but I was blown away. And that's what got me into horror. So obviously I have to put Halloween there, my number 1, because that's the first thing that got me into horror. After watching that movie, I was like, oh, I need more of this. You know what I mean? And then after watching all the Halloween movies, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with Michael Myers. I mean, I'm enough of Michael Myers. What else is out there? You know what I mean? We got into Jason and stuff. But Halloween started all for me, and Halloween is always going to go down as my number 1 slasher slash horror movie. One of my favorites. And my favorite slasher of all time is Michael Myers. So Halloween is going in number 1. Number 2 is going to go to Friday the 13th, obviously. After watching Halloween, the next slasher I moved on to was Jason. You know what I mean? I needed something different to watch. And so obviously I got into watching Friday the 13th. The first one, watching as a kid, I was a little weird on because, Jason wasn't there as Pamela. But as I've grown up, like I said, as you grow up and you learn to watch these movies with an open mind and you really watch them entitled to be like how they were supposed to be watched and the audience it was for and how they were supposed to be watched, it's really good. And Friday the 13th was one of those, the original Friday the 13th movie was one of those movies for me. OG Halloween, Paranormal Activity, okay. Friday the 13th, okay. Final Destination, and The Conjuring. Amazing list. That is it right there. That is all you need. Listen, if you're a horror, like if you've never watched a horror movie in your life and you're trying to get into horror movies, that is the best list to follow for sure. The OG Halloween, Paranormal Activity, Friday the 13th, Final Destination, and The Conjuring. All great movies. Who was the killer in Friday the 13th? Pamela. Well, in the original Friday the 13th, part 1, it was Pamela. Part 2 and then on was except for part 5 because you had the guy came in there as the copycat killer. Was it Roy? Anyways, you had Roy there. He was the killer, but Pamela was the killer for part 1. And then after that, Jason took over pretty much the rest of the series, and that's how we got to know and love that slasher. But Jason, after watching Halloween, of course, getting tired of Michael Myers, Friday the 13th was the next thing I went to. And like I said, at the time, watching both, I felt like at the time, me as a kid, I was like, wow, Friday the 13th is a lot more brutal. Their kills are a lot more gorier than Halloween. Not the recent Halloweens, though. Like, anything after Rob Zombie's Halloween, I don't know if that compares to the original Friday the 13th, that is. I don't think it compares. I think those movies are a lot more brutal. But the original Friday the 13th, when they first came out, were definitely titled more brutal and more gruesome than what Halloween was. So watching that as a kid, me, I was like, oh yeah. So Friday the 13th goes in my number 2 spot, y'all. All right, so for my number 3 spot, and you said it yourself, my number 3 spot is going to go to Paranormal Activity 2. Let me tell you something. If you guys have not watched any of the Paranormal Activity movies, go and watch them. I'm a big fan of like the found footage movies. I'm a big fan of those. Or just like the footage movies in general, like the camera footage like movies. I'm a very big fan of those. I feel like those are the best horror movies you could watch. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a really good horror movie and you don't want to disappoint and you're not a big fan of slashers, go watch a found footage film. Or a film with, Paranormal Activity 2 goes down in history as possibly one of my favorite, like besides Halloween, it's up there. Like it could be in my number 2 spot. Paranormal Activity 2, specifically. Paranormal Activity 1 also is a very good movie, but for the second one, I feel like it just took it away. The actors at the time, which, by the way, half of that cast never even acted in their life. You had maybe like 2 or 3 actors in there that were already actors. Yeah, that one is good, too. I forgot about those movies. Yeah, very good franchise. Boy, that's scary. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, but... Bro, half of the actors in that movie, though, never acted in their life, which is really crazy because the way in that movie, I feel like out of the whole franchise, you had the best actors in part 2. I feel like everything you got from Paranormal Activity 1, they just completely ramped it up in part 2, and it was and is also, I want to say Paranormal Activity 3. It was 3 or 2. That was the first one I watched with my sister who's in the chat room right now. I want to say it was the second one or third. It was one of them that we watched first. I want to say it was the third one, honestly. But being that the second one was one of the first ones that I watched, though, as a kid, I was like, wow. And because I was used to slashers, I was a big fan of slashers. I didn't watch much paranormal stuff. So once I first watched it, I was like, what? And then that's when I started, that movie is what got me into watching The Conjuring. And then, we watched the, what are the movies? The Conjuring, Insidious, and stuff like that. That's what got me into liking the paranormal movies. And that movie's what made me go back and watch, even the Exorcist movies, Paranormal Activity, because of what it did. So I feel like also the time frame that Paranormal Activity came out, which is like the early 2010s, was like the perfect era to come out because it was something new that they did. Paranormal stuff wasn't being really brought out and produced out like that, especially found footage films. And the fact that they had it come out around 2010 and stuff, I feel like that was a perfect time for it because that's when that stuff was really getting popular. And people around that time really were looking for something new in horror because, the slasher stuff from the 80s and 90s were already dying out. People didn't like the anthology stuff. They wanted something new. And I feel like once they released Paranormal Activity, that's exactly what everybody was looking for. And I feel like it changed horror for the better. I really do. Yes, Insidious is my favorite paranormal movie. Yes, bro, Insidious, one of the scariest movies. I think Insidious has to be probably one of the most scariest movies in history. The scariest movie in history. It is a scary movie. It's a really good movie, The Insidious. Very good directing too. Good sound score. You know, they got very good music in that movie too. The music is very, very haunting. I feel like watching a horror movie, I feel like people they forget when they're making the horror movie that it's not just about how the filming style is or what the actors are doing or how scary you can make it, but it's also that music. You gotta have that music, and I feel like Insidious just hits it every time with everything that they did for that movie. You know, the sound. Yeah, Tiptoe by the yes, that song. Even when they played that, like it was perfect. Like you got to have sound if you're going to make a scary movie. You got to do it with sound too. You got to be able to, you know what I mean. And with Insidious, they did it just perfectly, perfect. It's like they did everything that Paranormal Activity did, but just like thousand times better, thousand times better. Um, Moving on to my number four, my top five horror movies is gonna go to. I might get a lot of hate from this from coming from like the horror scene and the horror community. I might get a lot of hate from this, just because of what I'm about to say. But the remake, not the original. I'm not talking about the original because I don't like the original. But the remake of Let Me In. Don't throw eggs. Don't throw tomatoes. Don't start throwing shit at me. Don't start coming for me. Listen, the only reason why I like the remake is because I can understand it better. Now I know what you're gonna say. Why don't you just put subs on? Why don't you just put subtitles on? What's wrong with subtitles? What's wrong with subtitles? Yeah, but if I'm watching a horror movie and I'm trying to be in the moment and I'm sitting here reading subtitles the whole time and I'm not looking clearly at what's going on, it's going to take away from the atmosphere. It really is. I'm telling you right now. Go watch the original Halloween. No, you know what? Go watch Jason. Go watch Friday the 13th. Turn on subtitles, okay? Don't even have the movie loud, but turn on subtitles and tell me if you can watch one of those whole movies. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. But you got to read the subtitles too. You got to make sure you're reading them through every scene or what. Go ahead and do that for me. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's in Japanese or something. I forgot what the original Let Me In was dubbed in or what English, what language it was done in. But it wasn't like Japanese or anything like that. I forgot what. I don't know what it was, but the remake of Let Me In is a very good movie. If you guys don't know what Let Me In is, I feel like I definitely suggest. I honestly don't think I've seen that. It's a really good movie. I don't think you have seen it either, Olivia, but I want to say it came out around 2012, 2011. Basically, just to give a small breakdown of it, it's a movie where it takes place in New Mexico in the early 90s, I want to say. And so it's about this kid or whatever, lives in this apartment building or whatever. Doesn't have the best home life. You know, I mean, his mom works all the time. His dad's not in his life or whatever. And, he gets bullied at school or whatever. So, he don't have friends or whatever. The only time he gets to, actually, have time alone is when he goes outside and he sits at a park that's by his apartment, little building or whatever. Shitty apartment building he lives in and stuff like that. Life's just terrible. Anyways, but there's a girl that moves next door to his apartment, I think, like a little girl or whatever. And, they begin to become friends or whatever, but he finds out the girl's a vampire. She's a legit vampire. She feasts on blood. But the person, her caretaker that takes care of her, it's not her father. It's just her caretaker. It doesn't, explain how he's her caretaker. But it is her caretaker of some kind or whatever. But eventually, the boy and the vampire, the girl, become best friends. She tells him that, she's eventually a vampire and stuff like that. And, he has to find out how to hide her identity, help her hide her identity, and then eventually he has to help her survive because her caretaker, I don't think he dies, but I think something happens to where he goes to the hospital and he can't really take care of her no more. Something happens to where he has to go to the hospital and he's not doing too good at all and he can't come home and so the girl's just there by herself. And the little boy has to find out how to start taking care of the vampire girl. And it's a very good story. It really is. It sounds a little weird, but if you watch it, and like I said, it is also a horror movie. It is scary. If you watch it, it's a really good movie. The remake is. I suggest watching the remake because the original, it's in a whole different language or whatever. So if you're going to watch it, watch the 2012, I think it is. 2012, Let Me In. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I will watch it. Very good movie. Yeah, it is a very good movie. It is a very good movie. It's called Let Me In. The next movie on my list, which is going to be my last one, it's going to be my number 5. My number 5 is my last one. I didn't know what I should put in this one, and I knew what I was going to put in this, but like I was debating it because I was like, well, there's other horror movies. There's definitely other movies I could put here. But one thing I remember is this is my top 5 list. This could change at any point. You know what I mean? You could ask me tomorrow, my list could be completely different. You know what I mean? You could ask me a week from now, it could be completely different. So this is just my top 5 for right now. You know what I mean? If you were to come and ask me today what my top 5 was, this would be my answer. Anyways, my last one is going to be Talk to Me, which came out in 2023. First time I watched this, I watched it in theaters. I went with my fiance. This was our first date too, that we went and watched it. We went and watched it together though, and interestingly enough, I didn't know how the movie was gonna do because it was actually made by YouTubers. Our YouTube channel that the people from YouTube channel made the movie. So if you guys know who Raka Raka is, the people from that YouTube channel is the people who wrote and worked on this movie. Let Me In. Wait, did I say that? Right? Yeah. Wait, no, Talk to Me. Talk to Me is the one who made Talk to Me. But it's a really good movie. It came out in 2023. Production was done by YouTubers, keep in mind. But yeah, great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, I also very suggest watching Talk to Me. It's a very good movie. Like I said, especially if you're looking for a horror movie that tries something different. If you're looking for a horror movie that's not like all the other horror movies that you watch today, and you're looking for something new and refreshing in a horror movie, this movie is definitely the movie to watch. I thought it was a really great movie. The directing was really good. The actors also did very, very good, which I think they were recently new actors too. Whenever they acted in the movie, I'm pretty sure they were newer actors, and they all did really amazing. I don't even think the movie had too much of a big budget. I don't know what the budget was exactly, but I know after watching the movie, like a week later, I seen reports and updates online saying how the movie did really good in the box office, and the movie was a big hit. Which is good, you know what I mean? I really liked the movie. I thought it was a very great movie when I seen it. Like I said, I went and watched it with my fiance. It was our first date, and we walked out of the movie theater just static. We were happy, that we seen it. It was a very good movie, and that night, this is when Oppenheimer and Barbie was in theaters, and I didn't want to go see any of these movies. So that was like the only other choice I had that night. And, going into it, I was like, okay, but, coming out of it, I was like, oh yeah, one of the very good horror movie, especially today. Like if you were to ask me what is the best horror movie today that came out in the last like 5 years, it's definitely going to go to Talk to Me. Definitely going to go to that movie. Like I said, very good movie. It was their first time directing it, and I felt like they did an amazing job. I didn't hear your number 1 movie. What was it? Halloween. My number 1 movie was Halloween, the original, as everybody knows. The movie that originally got me into horror, Halloween. Obviously, Halloween 1, the original, wasn't the first one that got me into horror. It was Halloween 4, but Halloween 1 definitely is going to go over 4 for me. Yes, of course. Yep. Of course. Alright, so next thing I want to talk about in the horror category, it's not nothing, really too scary or whatever, but I wanted to get your guys' opinions and your excitement for Halloween. What are y'all's Halloween plans? What do you guys plan on doing for Halloween? I'm very excited for Halloween. Just like I said in the beginning of the episode, Halloween is my favorite holiday. I try to go all out for Halloween. I don't like to go out. I'm not a big holiday person, but whenever it's Halloween time, I just love the season. I love the feeling. I love the fall feeling. I love the fact that I can watch scary movies or listen to scary podcasts or scary stories when I go to bed and not look like an insane person. So yeah, I love Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year. I love candy. Of course, I love wear my Michael Myers shirts and stuff like that for Halloween. Like I said, I like the season. I like the atmosphere. I like the feeling it gives me. To get the kids' costumes. Oh, that's cool. What kind of costumes are y'all gonna get this year for Halloween? What kind of costumes are y'all rocking? Who y'all gonna be? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I thought if I do, participate in Halloween this year, which I'm probably going to, if I was going to do it, I wanted to go as Michael Myers like I did when I was a kid, because I used to go as Michael Myers a lot when I was a kid. But this year I wanted to as well, just to get that nostalgia feeling for Halloween, go as Michael Myers again. But then it switched, and then I was like, well, you know what, maybe I should go as like Pinhead, or maybe I should go as Darth Vader. Little Ron wants to be DJ Marshmallow, and Sophia wants to be Nemo. Okay, cool costumes. DJ Marshmallow and Nemo. Heck yeah. Are you in
Big Ron dressing up. Like I said, I was going to go maybe as Michael Myers, but I don't know. And then, like, my second choice was Pinhead, and then I thought about doing No Face from No Through Road because I'm writing the script for it. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll go as No Face because nobody else is going as No Face from No Through Road, so that would be something new that I could do. Pinhead is tough. No, it is. But I would have to get, like, a good, like, I mean, because, like, if I was to go and get a good Pinhead costume, I would get one that's at least, not saying I'm going to have to get the most expensive, costume on the market, but I wouldn't want to go and get, like, a $5 Pinhead costume. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist, but I told Ron to dress up as all zeros. Okay. Oh, that's right. Weren't you guys going to be, both of them? Yeah, Pinhead, I feel like as for a Halloween costume, that is something that's gonna be a lot. Or if I'm to do Michael Myers, all I have to do is get the mask, which is not even arguably the most expensive part of the costume, because most Trick or Treat studio masks go for $80, which by the way, I don't know why a latex Halloween mask goes for $85. That's insane. You know what I mean? Because I promise you on everything. I remember because Halloween masks first really became popular and a thing whenever I was a kid. Back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't see them too much. You know what I mean? You can go on the Dave McRae show, and he even says it. Back then, they didn't have Michael Myers masks. The only thing, the closest they can get to is a Don Post mask, which was not much of a Michael Myers mask. But when I was a child, I used to buy them for my costumes. They used to be like $40. I didn't buy them. My parents bought them, but they only used to be like $40. And now they're all like $80 to $90 for a Michael Myers mask. And I'm just like, get out of here. Yeah, originally that was the plan, but he's not down to dress. Somebody's not just know because trust me, like getting a good, replicated Ozzy outfit it could be pricey. And that's the thing, man. It's sad. Most Halloween costumes are pricey. It's like you can't really go as what you really want to go as because it's just like, you know what I mean? But I guess it is harder dressing up too, being a parent, having kids too, because, you got to watch over the kids at night. You got to chase them around. You got to make sure, you know what I mean? So it is understandable. I feel like it's going to be a lot harder for me to go trick-or-treating too once my kids get older. I mean, I don't go much trick-or-treating now. I stay inside. But, as my kids get older, I'm definitely going out dressing up and going with them again. As if I was a kid, you'd have me fooled. I'm getting me some candy. I'm definitely scaring me some people. 80s, damn. Okay, you know what? I'm tired of this. The 80s was not even that long ago. The 80s was not even that long ago, bro. The 80s wasn't even that long ago. I wasn't even born in the 80s. So I don't know why I'm defending it, but it was not even that long ago. But yeah, what y'all's excitements for Halloween? What y'all's plans for Halloween? What do you guys think of the season? Is it y'all's favorite holiday? Maybe it's not. It could be another holiday. Who knows? But it's my favorite holiday. So I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to know what you guys are doing for Halloween and what costumes you guys are going to be wearing. Let's see. So we talked about my top 5. Let me just go ahead. Okay, I have an announcement. I'm going to announce this right here, right now, while we're in this segment. I want to... Yours has always been Halloween. And mine is Christmas. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that's always been a thing. Mine's Halloween. Yours is Christmas. Christmas is good, too. I like Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but... I don't know. Nothing beats Halloween, in my opinion. Just the feeling, the atmosphere of it. I love it all. But no, so I have an announcement here. As you guys have known, I have been working and writing on my script for the official continuation of No Through Road 5. I can't say official because I'm not working with the original creators on it. But, as I've said before, I'm not really making this a thing to where I'm going to go out and film it myself and make a whole, part 5 of it. I'm just making a script, writing my script from it, seeing what you guys think of it, my opinion on what a continuation could be for it. If it ever, like I said, once I read my script and it gets out there and people really like it though and really want to see me do something with it, maybe we will in the future. You know what I mean? We'll get a small crew together or whatever. But if we were going to do it, I would love to get the original creators to help me with it. But I don't see that happening. No Through Road 5 hasn't came out in 13 years. And they don't post much. And last time I heard about the makers of it, I heard, the directors and some people that were there for the that filmed it, went on and did different things with their lives and stuff. So I highly doubt a No Through Road 5 would ever come out from them, and I highly doubt they would ever help me work on something like this in the future. But who knows? If it does, it does. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to have them work on this with me, because it would feel, if I was to go ahead and direct this and make this a thing, it would feel even more like the story. But if not, if we were to go ahead and like film it in the future, maybe I would just like, get a crew that would like, that would feel like them. You know what I mean? I would just recast some different people that look like them and sound like them. You know what I mean? Which would be a little hard, but I feel like we can make it work with the atmosphere, how dark it is in there. I feel like we could make it somewhat work. But yes, the announcement is, so as you guys know, I've been writing and working on the script for No Through Road 5. And I told you guys I was going to read it to you guys. We would do a stream about it. I would read it on an episode or whatever. That's not what I'm going to do. Instead, I'm going to host a Halloween event. For Halloween, October 31st, we'll sit down here, and I'll have the script completed by then, and we'll all read it on here. I'll have it as a Halloween event. It won't be a show or anything. It'll be just a separate stream for it itself. We'll sit down here, we'll have a spooky vibe going on, and I'll read you guys my entire script for it. So that's going to be my announcement, October 31st. On Halloween night, we're going to do, we're going to read the script out. And you ain't learned nothing from SpongeBob. You just gonna believe? No, you're right. You're right. Do y'all get trick-or-treaters there? Sadly, no, we don't get much trick-or-treaters here. It probably is because it's an apartment complex, but we don't really get much trick-or-treaters here, no. But, yeah, No Through Road 5, my script, I will be reading it here for you guys officially. We'll be reading it here for you guys October 31st on Halloween night. I just realized, as you guys know, we also go live on the Twitter space, right? I'm pretty sure I was muted this whole time. I'm pretty sure I was muted the whole time. It's okay. If anything, we're just now into our second topic, or third, I think. Yeah, no, second, so it's not that bad. Sorry for you guys that were listening on X that were muted. My bad. So, if you guys are interested, I'll make a whole post about it. But October 31st, we're going to do a reading on Halloween night of No Through Road 5 of my official script. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'll put a whole post about it on my social medias and my YouTube, so that way you guys can remember and put down your calendars if you want to be there for that. Or if you guys want to watch it after it's live, you can as well too. So yeah, just thought I'd announce that and, give you guys that interesting details for the No Through Road 5 script. All right, so next, getting into our next topic, music. Last episode we did talk about music. Okay, so we have an update on the David situation, which I want to talk about with you guys too. I feel like if we're going to talk about this, I got to talk about this with you guys, because I got to conversate about this. We have an update on the David situation. If you guys don't know who David is, if you've been living under a rock, there's an artist named David, a rapper, or I don't know what kind of music he does, but he's an artist that recently had a body discovered in the back of his Tesla of a 15-year-old girl, I think it was. I don't know how old she was. Anyways, an underage girl that was found, in the back of his Tesla. Obviously unalived. And, people, were obviously talking about this for days. I've seen it going on social medias. Obviously, we talked about it here on the show. I didn't have much details in, but obviously, we have more now. And apparently this guy is still not locked up. We talked about it last episode. We talked about the evidence that they have against him. Hey. No, but, we talked about the evidence that he had against him. The hidden messages, the songs, the unreleased songs, the live streams with the girl Celeste, which obviously the proof, like all the evidence is there. You know what I mean? There was leaked live streams with them about her talking about, the things he does and, exposing him for the things he does. Some more evidence came out about that. And yeah, he going to jail one way or another. No, he definitely is. Yeah, I'm confused as why he's still not being arrested. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know why he hasn't been arrested yet. Because yesterday I was looking up on the situation before I read this, was writing the script. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and, update y'all on the David situation. I was surely thinking, okay, there got to be an arrest at this point, right? No. Nope, no arrest. The man is still sitting comfortably in his house playing Fortnite and on Discord servers. He's not arrested. He has not been arrested. He has not been detained. Like I said, I know they took his computer. They took a couple of his personal things from his house I guess they're investigating. But as of right now, as of October 4th, 2025, the artist David has not been arrested or detained yet for what's going on, which I think is crazy. Like I said, I don't know if investigators are just not doing their job. It's just kind of sad that, the internet is out here, doing their job for them and pointing out all these signs to them, and nobody's taking it serious. Like, nobody is, thinking to maybe bring him in for questioning or to get some details from him. Because, just storming into his house and taking his belongings and leaving and not, hearing nothing back from the police within, 2 weeks since they've done that, it ain't showing, you know what I mean? Like, it's honest. It's sad though. You know what I mean? Like, are we not taking this problem serious? You know what I mean? We're not taking it serious. What's going on? I don't know. I think it's crazy how he hasn't been detained yet. I honestly, really, truly think it's crazy that David has not been detained yet, or at least brought in for questioning or whatnot. Because surely enough, if he was brought in for questioning, we would have seen updates about that. There has been no updates, y'all. And I mean, there has been no updates on him getting arrested, detained, brought in for questioning, nothing. He's just out here living like a free man. While this investigation, as it seems like, it's just there's nothing happening. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're probably going to, oh, well, Dylan, they can't go, while they're doing an investigation, they can't just announce everything on the internet like you want them to. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm just saying it's been almost a month of this situation, and it's like we haven't got no big updates. Nothing has happened. You know what I mean? If it isn't David, who is it? You know what I mean? Are you guys even speculating? I don't know. It's sad. All the proof is there. Family of the girl came out and, even told people that they knew they were in a relationship with David. I don't know where the parents were, but that's not our business. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk about where parents were, where they were not. It doesn't matter. The fact is that somebody still shouldn't have had their lives taken. That's the main thing. And it's sad that, this girl's body was found in this Tesla and nobody's doing anything about it. It's like nobody's trying to make an effort to really figure out what's going on besides the internet, which is sad. You know what I mean? It seems like the internet is doing more than what the police should be doing. I don't know. It's crazy. But hopefully we get an update from the situation. There's nothing too big yet. Like I said, I know there was that clip that came out where of him, the artist, and her, the 15-year-old girl, Celeste, in a live stream together. Clips have came out of a deleted live stream that they were in together, and they were talking, and she even, admitted of the things that, I'm not going to say or mention it here on the stream, but you guys know what I'm talking about, 69 God, you know what I mean, with her. So it's weird stuff. The proof is there. It's out there. It's already proved that the man has, R-worded her and done bad things. I mean, it shows what kind of person he is. Why hasn't he been detained? It doesn't matter if he didn't kill her or not. That's the thing. It doesn't matter why hasn't this man not been detained? He's definitely a suspect. And I think it's crazy because right now, while he's out, while he's loose, he has all this time and all this opportunity to cover up what he wants or to, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's crazy. I'm not going to rant too much on it. I'm sorry. I got to thing there. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, and I want to talk about is with Truman. I know Truman is more involved with this kind of stuff, but what I want to talk about is my opinion on the XXL freshman cipher fall off. If you guys don't know what the XXL freshman magazine is, basically, every year they have a cipher of a group of different rappers that they put into a group and they call them freshmen. So they take new stream rappers that are coming up. If you guys don't know, you guys can go and look them up. The best cipher I suggest to watch is the 2016 rap cipher with Lil Uzi Vert, Denzel Curry, Kodak Black, 21 Savage. That definitely is going to go down as the best double XXL freshman cipher. in the rap history and in XXL history. That is the best cipher in my opinion. I feel like everybody agrees too. I feel like the only one you could argue with is maybe the 2017 one with XX and Tassion. That one was also a very good cipher, bro. Very good. But I wanted to come on here and kind of, give my thoughts on it because I've seen people in the comments of the last one, because I don't really watch that, the ciphers anymore after, after 2019, I really stopped watching them. But I was on YouTube and I watched the recent ones that they came out this year. I was like, oh, I want to see what they kind of got going on this year. You know what I mean? I was like, I haven't watched, any of the XXL freshman ciphers in a while. I feel like the last one I seen, I didn't hear it, but the last cover I seen was for 2021 where they had DDG with it. And they had like a bunch of other like rappers on there. But that's like, after I seen that cover, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, they're cooked. I don't think they're ever going to come back from that. I don't think XL ever going to make a comeback or ever have a good cipher on here again. You know what I mean? We're not ever going to get the moments back. You know what I mean? And rather you want to say that's, XXL's fault or whatever, which I don't think it is. I don't think it's XXL freshman cypher's fault that, personally, I don't think it's their fault that the freestyles are getting worse. You know what I mean? I really don't. But what I will say is I feel like it could be the artist. You know what I mean? It could be artists, because when I went to go and watch it this week and revisit the channel and watch, the newest cipher that came out, I was like, what? You know what I mean? It's not the fact that, the beat was bad or anything. I thought, they had a pretty good beat behind it this time and everything. I thought they had a good instrumental this time. You know what I mean? A good DJ too. But it wasn't the DJ's fault or nothing like that. I just thought it was the people that came up there and were trying to freestyle. Like, I don't know what they were. GID Ski Master Slum got. Yep. The best cipher. One of the best. Definitely in my top 3 ciphers. Definitely, bro. Definitely. The rest of that year wasn't too good. 2018 wasn't too good because he had YB and Namir and shit like that in there. But that is the only cipher that was good from 2018. The only one. The only one. That one was goated. That definitely goes in my top 3 ciphers, bro. Definitely. I don't know if you could say JID carried it. A lot of people say that, but I feel like Ski Mask did really good too. Ski Mask was on top around then. I don't know. I'm a Ski Mask fan, so maybe that's what it is. But a lot of people say JID carried that one, but I don't know. I thought Ski has some good bars in there. I'm not gonna lie. But see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's the artist. I don't think it's the DJs that they have on there. I don't think it's the instrumentals that they're using. I honestly think it's the people that they have on there. You know what I mean? Sadly, it's like this with music, unless you really put time into it. So I don't know any of the people they had on there. And that's another thing. I know it's supposed to be for newer artists to come on there and give their freestyle. But it's like, how many times have you seen somebody like T Grizzly put a pitch up for XXL? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know these people that they choose. That's the problem. Whenever people put their pitch in, I don't, you know what I mean? You can vote for somebody. It doesn't matter how many times you vote for them to be on the next, cover for XXL. You won't see them on there, but they're going to pick somebody like, I don't know. Give me a name. Give me a name of a terrible rapper right now. Let's just give me a terrible name of a rapper. Give me a terrible rapper right now. Give me one. I honestly can't think of one right now. I can't. But I seen they had some guy named Ian on there. I don't even know who that is. I've never heard that guy in my life. I've never heard his music. Maybe you have. I don't know who Ian is though. I don't even know what kind of name that is. A rapper name. But they had him on there. But I didn't know who this guy was. That's the thing. If you're gonna have these people on here, I feel like you should at least make sure they have somewhat of enough following. You know what I mean? I know it's for newer people, but obviously, if there's a rapper out there that's producing good music, that's having good albums released, who's constantly dropping music, and who people are constantly bopping to this person, put them on the cover. Put them on the cover. I don't care if it's been since 2017 since T Grizzly came out. Put him on a cover now. I don't need to see people like Ian and Low Key and stuff like that. I don't need to see them on an XXL freshman. I don't need to. I don't need to see like in 2019 when they had a Comp Design on there. Why did they have him on there? He was a one-hit wonder. Comp Design was only known as a one-hit wonder at the time during 2019. I don't know why they had comethazine on there. I don't know. And they bring people that are not even freestyling. They're bringing people. Imagine if we had Juice. Imagine if we had Juice on an XXL cipher. Could you imagine? Hold up. Hold on. Yeah, bro, they had somebody called Ian. Who is that? Who is that? I feel like they literally went to the streets, like they were sitting in their office right now. They're like, so what are we gonna do for our next cipher? What people should we have come on here and freestyle? Let's go ahead and look at some of our old pitches. Let's just see if we can get any ideas from there, because there's no new artist really dropping much right now. So let's go ahead and look at our other pitches. T Grizzly, no. This guy Ian, taxi cab driver. Oh yeah, we want him. Let's put him in there for sure. What? I don't know. It's just, look, my complaint from the most recent one I seen is the artists. They don't have flow. And they're mumble rappers. Now listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm not defending mumble rap when I say this. I'm not at all. But I will say, I feel like a lot of people, label, new music as mumble rap, when it's like, it's not that the fact that it's mumble rap. I feel like a lot of people forget whenever rap music is supposed to be more of that fast pace. You know what I mean? It's not an old country song where you got to sing slowly. People got their own likes and their own genres. And I feel like if you don't like that with hip hop, okay. It's not that so much it's mumble rap. You got to remember, you know what I mean? It's all about speed. It's all about keeping up. It's all about, rhyming and stuff like that. You can't sit there. Imagine somebody like let's put 6ix9ine for instance. Could you imagine 6ix9ine slow singing one of his songs and just slowing it all down and just going slow with it? No. I'm not defending mumble rap. What I say, there is mumble rap that is bad. Now, if you're gonna go on a freestyle and you're just going to say whatever comes off my, then no. I feel like you should not be on a cipher. If you're gonna go on that freestyle and you're gonna take time and you're gonna build, because there's science behind it. There's science behind music. I've said this before. There's science behind everything. You know what I mean? You really gotta know what you're doing if you're gonna make any music. You gotta know how to write. You know what I mean? Because I highly doubt that the morning of XXL 2016, I highly doubt everybody came in there not knowing, they had to have a couple of bars already knowing what they're going to start off with. They're probably going to be like, okay, I'm going to start with this, and then I'm just going to, then I'm just going to start spitting. We'll start off with this, and then I'll just start spitting after this. You know what I mean? See what I can come up with. I feel like most of these people are coming in here now without taking their time and just spitting. I don't understand what you're saying. And that's the thing. If you're going to make a song, okay, have like a story behind it. Talk about something. Don't just go on there and ramble. And I feel like that's what people get confused on what a freestyle is. A freestyle is not to where you just go and you just start rambling about random stuff. You know what I mean? It's about coming up. It's about being innovative. It's about, you know what I mean? You got to constantly be trying to come up with something new. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's science. It really is science. There's science behind it. And I feel like I said, that's why I feel like it's the newer creators coming. I feel like it's the newer generation of rappers that are coming in and going on these freestyles and are just spitting anything. And they don't care. I can tell you right now, Ian doesn't care that he performed bad on his XXL freshman cipher. He doesn't. He don't care. You know what I mean? He was there. He made his money. He got his views. He was on the freshman cipher, magazine. But I guarantee you, that's going to be his only thing that he's going to be successful for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Before he, kisses his kids goodnight, the only impressive thing he can tell them is, I was on the freshman cipher cover list. You know what I mean? That's going to be his only accomplishment. I think that's sad. I don't know. And that people ask why the music industry is dying off. All right, let's go. Now I want to talk about is our dream rap album. And I want to know what your dream rap album is too. Juice did, D, Pop Smoke did. Yep, Vaughn did, Murder, Lolo did. Bro, yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people didn't like Lil Loaded. I actually liked some of his music. I actually didn't mind Lil Loaded. I mean, I didn't like all his songs, but there was a couple of songs that were about that I could listen to and be like, okay, all right. Definitely Pop Smoke too. I love Pop Smoke. For the people that said Pop Smoke, if he would have continued and he would have, continued doing what he's doing, people would have said, he wouldn't have been a legend. He still wouldn't have been dropping today. People said if he was still alive to this day that, he still wouldn't be, as big as he was. Bullshit, bro. Bullshit. If anything, if Pop Smoke was to continue to live a little longer, bro, I'm telling you, Drake would have hopped on a track with him, would have tried to use him too, just like he does with the OVO sweatshop shit. He would have tried that shit with him eventually too. I bet you. Writing some shit and then start freestyling. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think. I think they're just writing down what comes to mind off of that second, and they just write it down. No. Like, I'm not saying you got to think of a whole storyline for your freestyle. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is put something in there, have something to where the listener can follow along to. Because if you're just sitting there rambling about guns and stuff like this and drugs and stuff like this, then I'm not understanding quite. But if you're having a story behind it, then I can bop to it. I can vibe to it. I can listen to it. I can listen to the instrumental. Then I can start getting, in a vibe. But I can't understand anything when you're going up there, blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, they don't give a fuck. I imagine if Kim Carson was on it, he wouldn't give a fuck at all. No, for real, that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine having Kim Carson on an XXL Cypher? No. That's all I'm saying. All right. My dream album. My dream rap album. He would have taken over New York. He would have taken over New York. What do you mean? Oh, because that's what you're saying is okay, yeah, no, true. Okay, yeah, you might be right. Anyways, my dream rap album. We're spending is too much. So here is my dream rap album. Now listen, I know what you guys are gonna, and I know what somebody else is gonna say in the chat. I know I'm gonna see a lot of 69 God in here, but I don't care. My dream album. Like I said, this is before the whole Kendrick shit happened or whatever, so I don't care what anybody wants to say. Like I said, this is just my dream rap album, what I think would sound really good. An album that I think would be a good album. My dream rap album is going to be a collab album between Drake and G Herbo. In my opinion, I think a collab album, by the way, with G Herbo and Drake would do great. I'm telling you right now. I've said this before. I said I feel like if you were to put Drake's flow with G Herbo and his style and stuff like that, and you put them behind a good instrumental, and you give them some good instrumentals and some good beats, I feel like they could really make something. I feel like they could really make some magic. I'm not gonna lie. Could you just picture it? Picture G Herbo's style. Put Drake's flow in there. You know what I mean? Give it a good instrumental. I'm telling you. I feel like it would be a great album. You know what I mean? Of course, you could have some good collab or some good features in there too. A lot of good features you could put on there too. Especially having G Herbo and Drake on there, you could almost probably get any feature you'd want on there. You know what I mean? Could you imagine seeing Travis Scott and G Herbo on a damn album together? That'd be crazy. No, but as you guys know, I'm a G Herbo fan, so I don't know if that's why I'm saying it. I'm more of a G Herbo fan than I am Juice WRLD. I'm sorry, I just read your comment. That's why I said Juice WRLD. I don't mean that. I'm more of a G Herbo fan than I am a Drake fan, obviously. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you were to put him on an album with Drake, with their flow and stuff like that, I feel like it would be great. And especially if you had a good production for the album too, I feel like it'd be really good. Yep, see? There we go. No, but for real, give my honest opinion. Truman, have you ever heard of G Herbo? You know who G Herbo is. Being dead serious though, them on an album together, Just picture it. Just picture if you can listen to that. I think it would be a good album. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I just needed something to fill up this space. So, J. Cole and Kendrick, I need that. Okay, no, that is true. That is true. That's another good one. That's another good one. I don't know if I'd ever see it happening, but if it wasn't this one I just said right there, definitely that one. If another one would definitely be J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. I feel like if J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar were to make an album, bro, first of all, I feel like it'd silence every rapper too. I feel like it would silence everybody. I feel like you wouldn't hear anybody drop for like at least 4 months. Like nothing hard for like at least 4 months because they know that shit is going to be on the radio for the next 4 months constantly playing. If Kendrick and J. Cole were to drop. And another crazy thing about that is if they were to ever make an album together, bro, every song on there would be a banger. Every song on there would be a banger. They would not miss, bro. They would not miss. Imagine if they did a song too where they featured like Scheme on it, because I'm pretty sure isn't Scheme signed to Dreamville or something like that, bro. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm telling you right now, that would be another good album in J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. A Juice and X album would do good. A Juice and X album would do good. Or like a Juice WRLD and Lil Peep album. R.I.P. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. We don't have none of them. Bro, all three of them, Lil Peep, X, and Juice WRLD are gone. I know what you heard, bro. Yeah. Wasn't G Herbo on an XXL too? Wasn't he on a Cypher or a magazine cover? I can't remember, honestly. But I want to say he also was on XXL at one point. I wonder what class it was. What class was it? Let's look it up. I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to Google it. I want to make sure. I do want to know what class this was. 2016. What? So, wait. So, G Herbo was on the same... Oh, that's right, because they do the split-up videos. Had the same year as Denzel Curry and JID album. Denzel Curry and JID would hit. Bro, an album with them two? Yes, bro. Yes. That would hit in the gym too. That would be a good album for the gym. JID and Denzel Curry. Good album for the gym right there. All right. Let's move on. All right, let's talk about boxing. We got some things to talk about for boxing news. brandrisk 10 wrapped up last night. I didn't watch the fight at all. I didn't watch the card. I will watch highlights. I seen some of the highlights when I got off of work last night, but I worked late last night, so I didn't get to watch the event, but I seen some of the highlights. I don't know why I don't know what what timing he was on last night, but I heard he was going around biting another boxer's nipple or something. And he got disqualified. So his opponent won. I don't know. I'm not sure why people are biting people on the nipples. I don't know how we go from biting ears to nipples, but that's brandrisk, people. Go watch brandrisk, and you guys get to see boxers biting other boxers' nipples if y'all are into that. No, but for real, I seen a couple of the a little clips of after the event, and what I will say though is whatever Aiden Ross did with the production for this event, way better than the last previous events. I think it looks way better. I think it looks more of like the camera quality looks cleaner, and especially because you need that for a boxing fight. If you're gonna host, a boxing event, and you're gonna have it filmed for live television or live stream or whatever, production is the best thing to have in it. And I'm glad that Aiden Ross picked up the production with it, and he did it pretty quickly too. This is their 10th event, so shout out to Aiden Ross for actually having really good production with this event. Like, he is doing surprisingly better than what I thought. And then one thing I thought was exciting too is after the event they had an interview with Rampage Jackson, and he said he was interested on fighting on the event afterwards. So yeah, but brandrisk 10 did wrap up. As you guys know, we talked about the card last episode, so I'm not gonna go ahead and go through it. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out, go ahead back to last episode, and we talked about it in there. We have Lamont Roach versus Isaac Cruz announced. I'm not really hyped for this fight, but I'm excited. I am going to tune in and watch this fight. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't really watch Lamont Roach's fights before the Tank fight. After that I went back. I feel like the only fight I did watch with him originally was the Hector Garcia fight. I remember watching the Hector Garcia fight and Lamont Roach fight before the Tank fight. But before that, I wasn't really much into Lamont Roach before the Tank fight. But after that, I had to go back and see, what this guy, was really about. Like I said, and then watching it back now, I think he definitely should have. And, in my opinion, I feel like, he definitely deserved that win over Gervonta. Sad that rematch is not happening. But Lamont Roach is set to face off against Isaac Cruz in the ring. Let me know what you guys think of this. As you guys know, Isaac Cruz, I feel like he's starting to reach the end of his career now, too. Isaac Cruz, isn't he? Isaac Cruz is also another big lightweight boxer. He's like another big name out there. Not too much anymore, but when he first started out, man, he is a big problem. He was a big problem for people like Tank as well. You know what I mean? He was a problem for people like Rolly Romero. But I am excited for this matchup. I will be watching this one as well. Like I said, I really do want to keep watching more of Lamont's fights. I like his style, and I feel like if he keeps at it, I feel like he really could one day become champion. I really think that is a champion in the making right there. It is sad that he didn't get to have his rematch with Gervonta or anything like that. But I feel like after this Cruz fight, I feel like we really are going to see, if he wins this Isaac Cruz fight, I feel like we're going to really see a lot of things pick up for him in the boxing scene. So if you guys want to watch the next champion in the making, make sure you guys go ahead and watch the Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Roach fight. Going to be a banger for sure. And let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on the Lamont Roach versus Isaac Cruz fight. Very excited. We'll be watching it, like I said, and I can't wait to see how Roach does after his fight and what he's learned from the Gervonta fight, and what he's learned in this camp that he went through. Outcast 06 for the small creator boxing scene. It has been officially announced that Outcast 06 is coming. A brand new trailer just announced on the Outcast Boxing channel. Make sure you guys go ahead and check it out if you guys are interested in the small creator boxing scene, which is the scene that I'm bigly part of. Make sure you guys go check out Outcast Boxing over on YouTube and X. Like I said, the trailer just dropped for their 6th event. So very exciting news. And I can't wait till the card gets announced. And whenever the card does get announced, we'll do a breakdown of it here on the show. All right, moving on. Skateboarding. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to talk about for skateboarding today. Last episode, I know we talked about the skate shops and how those are going out of style and how you don't see much of those anymore. After that episode, I was reading online about skate companies going out of business. And it just adds to my proof. And I'm not, like I said, I'm a big skateboarding fan. I'm not saying nothing against the community. I don't want people to come at me with pitchforks and hitting me upside the head with their skateboards and their trucks and stuff like that. Don't do that, please. I'm not here to hate on the skate community. I'm one of y'all. New, but one of y'all. But it just adds to the thing that I was talking about last episode, where I think, it's sad to see that the skate, community, not community, but the skate industry, not the community, but the industry is like slowly going downhill, which is crazy because every year, you always get a new skate fan, or, because the new skateboarding games that were released this year, you had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered, and then you had, the new skate that just came out a month ago. But it's sad to see that these companies are slowly going on a decline because of the industry. I don't know if it's because of how, expensive the industry is, or, most of these companies are just going bankrupt. But obviously we do know that skateboarding isn't as close as what's popular as it was in the 90s or 80s, sadly. That's why I keep saying I was born in the wrong era. I definitely was. Especially every other skateboarder too. Definitely all born in the wrong era here. But for me, I don't know. It's just sad seeing these companies close. I don't know if it's because of the corporate greed or because of the lack of skate shops. You know what I mean? And if all these companies are closing business, that has to be what it is. You know what I mean? The only skate shop companies you see out there right now is, like I said last episode, is Zoomies. Which a lot of people don't like to shop at Zoomies because it's nothing but corporate greed. You get nothing but corporate greed at Zoomies. When you walk into Zoomies, you're not walking into a skate shop. You're not. You're going to walk into every normal clothing store that you walk into in a mall. And that's just sadly the reality of it now. Back then, Zoomies used to be different. But that's because, skate shops were just now becoming a thing. They were brand new. They knew how to run a skate shop back then. But now it's nothing but corporate greed. And then, with these companies closing down now, it just goes to show the lack of skate shops that we have. You know what I mean? Because that's how these companies reach skateboarders, is through the skate shops, releasing their stuff through the skate shops or online. But a lot of people, don't go online to buy much skate things from what I've seen. They like to go to the skate shops and support their local skate shops. So it's just sad seeing these companies close down because of that reason when, I talked about the reason last episode. And it's sadly one of my favorite skate brands. I feel like could be next, Alien Workshop. I really think Alien Workshop could be the next one to close down. Within the last 4 years, we've seen a major decline from the brand Alien Workshop, just like Almost Skateboard did before they went out of business. Not so much out of business, but since they slowed down production and, they only make so much like clothing stuff now. But I honestly really feel like Alien Workshop is next. You don't see too much of their decks or boards in games. You don't see too much of their stuff in skate shops. You know what I mean? And anytime I do see an Alien Workshop board in a shop, it's usually the same board that I see every time. So could they be next? I don't know. You guys let me know. You guys let me know your thoughts. Next thing I want to talk about, my favorite skate trick. And I want to ask you guys too what y'all's favorite skate trick is too. So if you guys want to let me know what your favorite skateboarding trick is, and combination, your skateboard combination and trick. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite skate combination is, and I'll read it. I'll give my opinion, and we can talk about it or whatever. You know what I mean? So we can start some discussion up in there. 360 pop shove it. Good one. Nice one. My favorite skate trick is going to go to, obviously you guys know Kareem Campbell is my favorite skateboarder, but obviously that and the laser flips. Bro, laser flips are cool. I've always wanted to learn how to do a laser flip. Everybody always wants to learn how to land a kick flip, which I still can't do. I can only I can do a kick flip. I can do the motion, but I'm never landing on the board. That's the problem. But the thing with the kick flip, everybody wants to learn that. But for me, I always thought the laser flip just looked cooler in my opinion. I've always wanted to learn how to do a laser flip as well. My favorite trick though comes from the man, the myth, the legend, Kareem Campbell, one of my favorite skateboarders. The Ghetto Bird, invented by him, made by him. The Ghetto Bird got to go down as my favorite trick. The thing with the Ghetto Bird is I don't know how to do this trick either, but I can hit my own goofy variation of it. So there's that, you know what I mean? Hopefully one day I get it down and I can really do it how it's supposed to be done. But I do somewhat of a goofy version of it now. But definitely the Ghetto Bird has to be my favorite. And if I had to go for my favorite combination, it'd have to be a blunt side 180. Definitely one of the coolest combinations you can do on, any rails or anything like that. It's a cool combination to put in there. You can always hit like a kick flip after it. You can always hit like another trick that goes on after it. Definitely my favorite skate combination. But yes, my favorite skateboarding trick is indeed the Ghetto Bird. So make sure you guys go look that up. Make sure you guys look up Kareem Campbell hitting the Ghetto Bird too, because obviously he invented it. He hits it the cleanest. My favorite trick, the Ghetto Bird. All right, let's see what else we're going to talk about. All right, so it's funny. I got a funny story about a skate park when I was little. So I have a little story time for you guys in this segment about a funny little crazy story from when I was a kid at a skate park. I feel like everybody has that one crazy story from their skate park, and I wanted to share mine for the first time. So this happened about back in 2012. I was probably 8 or 9. And we went to this local skate shop, or not skate shop, but this local skate park that was around my town. And this was with me and my friend Maximus, because my friend Maximus is the one who got me into skateboarding. So it was me and him, and it was my parents and my siblings that day. And we went out to the skate park that day. We got a couple of things to have a picnic out there, some snacks and stuff. And we went out to the skate park. We were going to have a whole day out there. Now, before we got to the skate park and when we stopped at the store going to the skate park, our vehicle that we were in, our family vehicle that we were in, had some kind of problems. We didn't know exactly what was wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with it now because I'm an adult. I was a kid back then, so I don't remember what was clearly wrong with it. But I know something was wrong with the engine. So, it's whatever. I'm a kid. I'm ignoring it. I'm like, okay, something's wrong with the car. As long as I get to the skate park, I don't care. So we make it to the skate park in one piece. And as, we're getting ready to skate, we're getting our skateboards out the back of the trunk and stuff. And, we're shut off the car and stuff. And we're walking to the skate park. And, we get everything set up. Okay, good. My stepdad leaves something in the car, though. And he goes back to get it. Now, when he does this, he starts the car for some reason. To get something, I don't know why you need to start the car, but he starts the car. When he starts the car, though, I kid you not, a flame ignites from the engine. Not like a big flame, but it was a decent-sized flame that ignites from this engine. And as a kid, let me tell you something. I was scared as hell because I thought this car was going to blow up, that I was going to die from how big the explosion was going to be. I was like, I didn't know what was going on. So here I am about to drop in on this little ramp, and then I see this happen, and I'm getting all scared. So my friend Max thinks I'm getting scared to drop in, and he's like, what are you looking? Well, why are you scared to drop in? What's wrong? We did this yesterday, because the day before I just started learning how to drop in for the first time. He's like, we did this yesterday. Why are you getting scared now than what it was yesterday? I'm like, no, bro, turn around, look at the car. It's on fire. And he turns around. He sees a flame. The fire. So me and him are screaming around. We're running around like chickens with our head cut off. We're screaming. We're scared and shit like this while this car is on fire. While people are at the skate park watching us run around with chickens with their heads cut off. But I don't know. It's just funny. I thought about this story last night. I thought it was funny. The fire though did eventually get put out. We eventually put the fire out. And the car never got fixed. I think we eventually got rid of it or whatever. But I don't know, a pretty funny, exciting, I guess, crazy story to tell you guys. At least we weren't in the car when it caught on fire. Because if we were in the car when it caught on fire, I would have lost it. Well, that would have been it. I probably would have had a heart attack. I thought the car was probably going to explode on me. That's what I thought as a kid at the time. But anyways, just a funny little, cool little skate park story that I would tell you. Alrighty. I think that is it for everything that I had to talk about. Alright. Let's see what some of you guys, see if I missed any comments. Go ahead and read. Okay, obviously 360 pop shove it and that laser flip. Yeah, laser flip, like I said, was definitely one of the good ones. Let me go ahead and see if I missed any comments here. My New York music. Yeah, seems to be it. As you guys know, towards the end of the episode, I usually have people come on via Twitter Space. I want to come up and speak or say anything on the show. Nobody wants to come up right now, so we'll skip that segment. If my boy Truman wants to come on and say something, though, he always can, but I don't think he wants to. But this is going to be the end of the show. New comments. And by the way, I do want to appreciate you guys for stopping by. I want to appreciate you guys for stopping by, and so far the show has been doing really good. So I do want to appreciate everybody that does come out for the show and that does tune in. It helps out a lot. Like I said, I'm just trying to make this thing grow. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do this every Saturday. We come on here and we do it every Saturday. But I do want to say thank you to everybody that comes out and tunes in for the stream. I sent you a message. Okay, I'll read the message after I end the stream or whatever. I'll text you back. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys for coming out. And if you are new here, make sure you guys do like and subscribe to show your support. It does help me out a lot. It helps this channel out a lot, and it helps me get to the show where I want it to get to, and helps me get my brand to where I want it to get to. So if you guys could just like and subscribe, it takes only 5 seconds of your day, and it helps me out a lot, and I do muchly appreciate it. Another thing that I would like to say is, I forget to say this a lot, but we do have sponsors. If you want to go look up or if you want any discounts for my team sponsors, that is Team Ghost, go look at my channel description. All my sponsors will be there. Oh, my boy, Truman's here. You want to come up and say something real quick? I think all you have to do is request. If you want to come up, you can request. But, yeah. So if you guys want to go check out sponsors, go to the channel description, my channel description, and use that code that is given to you That is Ghost 4 for exclusive discounts. Request. All right, let's get this loaded. We have a.
Hello?
All right, you're live. What's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing today, man? Welcome everybody on this beautiful morning, bro.
Bro, it is a beautiful morning. Of course, I wanted to start this thing earlier, but it is a beautiful morning outside.
Yeah, dude, yeah, I had to say that, but you know, we all appreciate this beautiful day, bro, and you know, just take this day by day. You know, take life day by day.
Right.
You know, keep taking these good steps and try to do better than you did the fucking last day, bro.
Bro, 100%. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, it's always about finding positivity. It's always about finding positivity. Yep. You know what I mean? Even if you had a bad week, you know what I mean? Try to look back at something that happened good during the week. Even if it's one little thing. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what it's about, is trying to find positivity now. Especially with what we're going through today in this world. It's crazy.
Oh, God. And also, I got one thing. If I ever got snipped, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, when I catch you, I will make you watch Dragon Ball Evolution and the ending of Game of Thrones back to back.
Alrighty then. My boy said back to back too. He wouldn't even be nice about it. You could have been at least nice about it. He said back to back. That's crazy.
Alright, I'm gonna make you watch that in the Terrifier series with no blinks.
Okay, the Terrifier series is crazy too. With no blinks either. No look it away. Don't look it away. We'll throw the don't look it away there too. No looking away. Because I know there's people that try to watch that Terrifier movie and look away. And you can't tell me that you do. You can't tell me that you don't. You can't say, oh, I never look away. Well, yes, you do, bro. You got to at least one time. Because I do. I'm not going to lie. I do at least once, at least during those movies, where I got to turn my head at least once and be like, okay, damn.
Somebody gets called from Bob to top.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. And a whole scene, too. And it's not like it's just a quick scene to where, like, it just shows him doing it in the background. Like, and I don't know if you've seen the Halloween movie, Halloween Kills, where it has, like, Michael Myers. There's a scene where Michael Myers is, like, getting these knives. And because Michael Myers, you know, he escaped from the hospital he was in when he was a kid. So he still has a mind of a kid. So he still does these things as a kid. And there's a scene where he's taking a bunch of butcher knives and he's just sticking it in this guy's back. While this guy's already dead, but he's just sticking them, grabbing one after another. And he's just, like, playing with it, making art of it. So I thought that was pretty... Like that. It's just like that. Like, he's just doing art with his kills. Like, he's just finding creative ways to kill. But that's what makes it brutal, bro.
Alright, that's what makes it brutal. When they just start doing, like, they start trying new shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's like, it doesn't, and it's not him in the background. It's full on showing him just sawing, bro. Like, the whole thing. And it's slowly going. And it's like, bro. It's crazy, though.
His sociopath, he said he watched, like, Terrifier 3, and then, like, he said he got hungry and he wanted some burgers right after that. And I said, you might be crazy.
I couldn't have a stomach after watching that movie. Because I know after watching... I remember watching that movie for the first time, and Sam told me to eat dinner before we watched it. And she's a real one for telling me to do that before we watch that movie. I'm not going to lie. She's definitely a real one for that one. She definitely is. Bro, because if I would have watched that movie and ate at the same time, I definitely would have thrown up. Like, I'm not usually like that with movies, but with that movie, I definitely would have. And it was my first time seeing it.
Like, I was eating, but I watched the movie. As soon as I got to that scene, I stopped eating.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my whole appetite, bro.
That boy was like, nope.
Disgusting.
Bro, that shit, yeah, no, it is.
I almost threw up. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I almost threw up, bro.
Where's that almost through? That's what I'm saying. That movie, that's why I say that movie is not much of a slasher movie. It's more of a, how crazy can we make it? How shocking can we make it? You know what I mean? It's more of a, they're going off of that, trying to get shock out of the fan base. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's more of a I don't know. It has like, what's the word I'm looking for? It has a catch to it. There's a catch to it. You know what I mean? It's running off of a theme. I don't know. It's not much of a slasher. It's more of a surprising thriller, in my opinion. But
yeah, it's not like, well, no, I said torture porn. It's not like torture.
Yeah. But it could be like that. It could.
But like, it's just gore porn.
That's all it is. Exactly that. That's all it is. It's just it's very very gory. It is, and that's what you said. It's more of like a kind of like a gore porn kind of thing. That's what it is, I think. But anyways, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up because I gotta take a shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be truthful with y'all. All right. So your boy got to go to the bathroom. Anyways, Truman, I appreciate you for coming on. If you want to talk later or something, since you're off, we can play the game maybe later today when I'm not busy. I'll just DM you and let you know if you want to hop on.
And also, I sent you a video about that David situation.
Oh, okay.
About why they have.
Okay, so there is.
yeah,
So you did send me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch it then, and then I'll probably make an updated post if it gives me like any intel because I can't watch it while I'm doing this because it'll in the stream or whatever. But whenever I end it, I'll watch it. Then like I'll make a post about it.
I bet.
But I do appreciate you for sending me those. I do appreciate it.
Sorry, you know,
For sure. I appreciate you for coming on though. Appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure you guys do remember we have upcoming events. We have the Team Versity reunion, possibly October 16th, maybe a little after. And then obviously October 31st we have the No Through Road 5 script reading for Halloween. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Yes, sir. But other than that, like I said, I appreciate you guys for coming out. It means a lot. Thank you, Truman, again for coming out too, my boy. Shout out to my boy, Demon Kid, in the chat. Appreciate you, my moderator. But other than that, like I said, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode. And we'll see you guys later. Peace.